Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
If we were white, if we were Irish, if we were Jewish, if we were Poles, if we had, in fact, in your mind, a frame of reference, our heroes would be your heroes too. Nat Turner would be a hero for you instead of a threat. Malcolm X might still be alive. And everyone is very proud of brave little Israel, a state against which I have nothing. I don't want to be misinterpreted. I'm not an anti-Semite. But when the Israelis pick up guns, or the Poles, or the Irish, or any white man in the world says, give me liberty or give me death, the entire white world applauds. When a black man says exactly the same thing, word for word, he is judged a criminal and treated like one, and everything possible is done to make an example of this bad nigger so there won't be any more like him.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear it. And if you have not done so yet, would you please click that link in the description, go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Good to see you all. I see the family all in. Much love to each and every one of you. But we got some things to talk about today. Because, the Magites are pretty pissed off. And really, it's only due to their own stupidity. This is the nature of the Magite. The nature of the Nabisco. This is their own doing, because they believed that because Trump said he was going to release the Epstein list, that he was actually going to do it. They really believed that he was actually going to release the list that really don't exist. I'm going to be honest with you. They're mad at Pam Bondi for saying it don't exist. I've always said that there is no Epstein list. I've always said, if you want to really find out what's going on, y'all need to be worried about the Epstein tapes. All the stuff that was taken off of Epstein Island, all the stuff that was taken out of his brownstone in New York, all the video footage, that's what needs to be addressed. But I always made sure that you guys knew that there is no Epstein list. This is because I did my research. The Nabiscos, however, they couldn't even get the research done. The stuff that y'all remember back when Trump was first in office? When he was first in office, he was out here being deified by a group called QAnon. Do y'all remember Q? They was like, yeah, Trump is going up against the shadow government. He's draining the swamp. He's going to be putting the light on all the little PDF files in government. Y'all remember that? They had a whole Pizzagate scandal where they were literally deifying Donald Trump as this savior who was going after the swamp. They refuse to conceptualize that this man may have been more involved with Epstein than people like to believe. They can't conceptualize why Out of all these years, all of a sudden he's changing his mind and saying and acting out when people are asking about Jeffrey Epstein. We're going to get into it today. We're definitely going to dwell up into it today, family, because I like to know what you guys think about it. And I like to know what you think about the Magites losing their shit over it. Excuse my French. But before we get started, gotta do what we do. Give us a shout out and salute to the family. So first and foremost, let's get that done. So, Shalom, B1 salute, certified. Thank you for being here, family. To our sister Hurricane Nisi, Miss Nisi in the building. Aquarius minded, my sister, shout out to you. Eddie Foster, shout out to you, my brother. Reparations Nation, shout out to you. Black Are You, shout out to you, family. Bad 72, my sister, thank you for being here. Shout out to you. Black Truth United, thank you for being here, my brother. And also thank you for your Cash App. Your donation is blessed tenfold. I truly appreciate your contribution, family. All right. Aisha FBA, salute to you, family. I'll see here. Give me a second, family. Tay the Man, salute to you, family. KK Speaks, salute to you, my sister. Angelic, thank you for being here, my sister. Salute to you. Let's see here. Who else we got up in the building? Stolen Ancestors, my sister, thank you for being here. Always a pleasure. Christopher Ellis, thank you for being here. JJ, thank you for being here. Crew Reality, shout out to you, my brother. Thank you for being here, family. Okay, hold up. Just want to make sure I ain't missed nobody. Brother Reef, thank you for being here, my brother. As well as Azaria Ben Yuda, thank you for being here, family. Also, Christopher Ellis, thank you for your Cash App donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as well. Let me make sure we ain't missed nobody. Aisha, thank you for your your super chat, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution. I want to make sure we got everybody here. All right, it looked like we didn't touch everybody. And to all who's not in the chat, salute to you. Thank you for being here. And for everybody who's going to catch this on the replay and the playback, thank you for being here, family. Salute to my brother AO, popped in with the buzzer beater. Shouts out to you, family. Now, let's start here. Let's get it started, in the words of Black Eyed Peas.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you.
But a lot of big people went to that island. But fortunately, I was not one of them.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Probably will be, by the way. Probably.
So if you're able to, you'll be...
Yeah, I'd certainly take a look at it. Now, Kennedy's interesting because it's so many years ago. You know, they do that for danger, too, because, you know, endangers certain people, et cetera, et cetera. So Kennedy is very different from the Epstein thing. But yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it. But a lot of big people went to that island. But fortunately, I was not one of them.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, It's very interesting, isn't it? Probably will be, by the way. Probably.
So if you're able to, you'll be.
Yeah, I'd certainly take a look at it. Now, Kennedy's interesting because it's so many years ago. They do that for danger too, because, endangers certain people, et cetera, et cetera. So Kennedy is very different from the Epstein thing. But yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
It all sounds good. Do y'all really believe that, family? Y'all really believe that? Salute Tory Reigns. Thank you for being here, family. I would like to know, within the past few years, what changed? Really, it ain't even been a full year yet since he made this statement. So what is it that changed his mind to the point where every time it's broadened up, the man goes into this tirade? He gets real irritated. It touches a nerve for some reason. Why is that? Why is that? That is the question for today. Salute Willie McKinley. Thank you for being here, family. Pam Bondi has been catching strays because of it. People have been throwing Pam under the bus. They're saying now that she's incompetent. Oh, now she's incompetent. Nobody looked at her as a DEI hire until recently. Why? Because she was out there saying this. Excuse me.
Of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you.
Yeah, I think she came across something in those files, family. She might have came across something in those files. All of a sudden, there's no list. Epstein unalived himself. They released a tape with like a good chunk of the time just missing. Yeah, I don't know, family. I think there was something in those files that she did end up coming across. But let's go here because, like I said, she's been catching strays ever since.
Attorney General Pam Bondi now facing mounting scrutiny following the DOJ's announcement there's no evidence Jeffrey Epstein kept a client list or was murdered. The announcement coming after months of hints that new information was going to be released. The National News Desk's Jeff Harris reports.
Some are now calling for Bondi to resign over her handling of the files. For months, she promised the release of documents on Epstein, including a supposed client list she once implied was sitting on her desk. But the recent DOJ memo undercut those statements, fueling outrage. During Tuesday's cabinet meeting, Bondi fielding more questions about the memo, including being asked whether or not Epstein was an intelligence asset.
To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that.
While Epstein conspiracies have run rampant for a while.
I do. Epstein was absolutely an asset. He was absolutely an asset. Don't let anybody tell you difference. With his ties to the Mossad, as well as his ties to, god dang, what's his name? Lex Wessner, the man who gave him the brownstone, the mansion in Florida, as well as a private plane for $1. And when he gave him those things, it was already fully equipped with the cameras. So yeah, this man was absolutely an asset. Who else would get a sweetheart deal in the manner that he got? Nobody. I've never seen a freaking PDF file of this magnitude. Get caught up and get a year in federal prison. Not just get a year, but while he was in there, he was able to come and go as he pleased. He was also able to have people bring him girls to the jail. Now, if that's not a sweetheart deal, not only that, all of his co-conspirators were protected through the sweetheart deal. Where they do that at? Where do they do that at? That proves to me, not only was he an asset, but he was an asset of a high caliber. Another asset that y'all might know is a man by the name of Peter Nygaard, who is the Jeffrey Epstein of Canada. Sorry, family, I got a text message. Who is literally the Epstein of Canada. These people are used for the same reason why you would think they're used. Salute, Sakina. Thank you. I hope I said your name right. Thank you for your Cash App. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I truly appreciate your contribution. But these people are used in the very same way that you would think they're being used. To have these parties, they want to make Diddy look like an Epstein figure, but Diddy, he really, to be honest with you, nowhere near an Epstein. Epstein, the man who loved to record Republicans and Democrats, who worked with Republicans and Democrats, who was working with people like Bill Gates, Harvard University, and a lot of these top-notch scientists. This man had to be an asset. I'm not even bringing up the relationship between him and Ghislaine Maxwell's father, who was a Mossad. So, yeah, it's we ain't even got to guess. Epstein absolutely was an asset. What was the dude's name that used to be in the Trump cabinet? Acosta. He was the DA in Florida. He was the one that actually put together the sweetheart deal for Jeffrey Epstein. And when he did so, when he was questioned about it, what did they do? He said, I was told that I had to put this deal together because he's an asset. That came out of that man's mouth himself. He said Epstein was an asset. All of a sudden, nobody knows? Interesting.
And his connection to the most powerful men and women are well known. His link to being an agent has been brought up before. In 2008, then U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta gave Epstein a sweetheart deal for a worldwide sex trafficking scandal. In 2019, while serving in the Trump administration, Acosta was asked about Epstein being an intelligence asset after the DOJ released a report on that investigation.
I would hesitate to take this reporting as fact.
Rumors and intrigue also continue to swirl due to conflicting CCTV information. In 2020, U.S. prosecutors said jail footage was destroyed by accident. But on Monday, the DOJ and FBI released a 10-hour video recorded outside Epstein's cell door to prove his death was a suicide, but timestamps skipped from 11:58 to midnight.
The evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide.
In response to the memo, several MAGA loyalists, including Laura Loomer, now calling for Bondi to resign. Writing in part on X, The American people and MAGA base will not tolerate being lied to. Conservative podcast host and Trump supporter Megyn Kelly also slamming Bondi over her handling of the Epstein files, saying her days are numbered.
So she's either lazy and incompetent, or she willingly humiliated some of the president's most loyal supporters.
Now, the memo is also likely to generate even more outrage from those who claimed Epstein's high-profile associates could be implicated in his crimes. The DOJ and FBI announcing no further charges are expected. I'm Jeff Harris reporting from Washington.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't expect any further charges to begin with. I'll be honest with you. That's the whole reason why Epstein was suicided. Let's just put it like that. Because they didn't want information coming out. If he was even suicided, some people believe that dude snuck away and is over there in Israel right now being, protected and all this other nonsense. I don't care. I don't want to say I don't care. I don't know either way. But what I do know, salute Fake Speaks Life. Thank you for being here, family, as well as Rashad Wallace. What I do know, family, is that you remember in the Ray Charles movie, and Ray Charles' mother used to tell him, scratch a lie, find a thief. Right now, there's a hell of a lot of people scratching on this lie, trying to figure out whether or not he unalived himself, whether or not there was a list or wasn't a list. But nobody's asking the questions that need to be asked. Nobody's asking about all the footage that was taken out of his house in his brownstone in New York, excuse me. Nobody's asking about the footage taken from his mansion in Florida. Nobody's talking about the raid on the Epstein Island. The two islands, mind you, because there was the Greater Epstein Island, or what is it, Greater St. Charles and Little St. Charles. So there was two islands that was actually ramshacked. Nobody's talking about those. Maybe because the island was sold last year to another asset. But the questions that should be asked aren't being asked. Because everybody has been conditioned to believe there's some list around. Like Epstein was sitting at his desk. As soon as someone left, it's like, yep, let me add him to the list, and he kept the list in his right drawer of his desk and everything. No. But when you went through the island, there was pictures all over the walls of different people who visited the islands. Where are those pictures? Where are those pictures? And these are people on the island taking pictures. Why haven't those pictures been released? Everybody is concentrated on, it's like the sleight of hand trick. Magic only works if they can get you to look at somewhere else while they pull a card that they already had in their sleeve out their sleeve. It'll only work if you're looking at the other hand. So they've been going around conditioning people to look for a list that doesn't exist, that's never existed. And the list that they were saying was a list was coming directly from his black book, which people had to admit, just because you're in the black book doesn't mean that you were on the island. People had to admit that. But what they were doing was taking names out of the black book and saying, look, he's on the list. There's never been a list. Yeah, exactly. And that's why they tried to railroad Diddler. Diddly diddly do. So now that people are upset at Pam Bondi because she's not doing what they expected her to do. She's not releasing what she claimed she had sitting on her desk. Trump had to come out and do a little a shielding for old Pam Bondi. Trump didn't like this, not one bit. Let's go here.
And now to another big story. The president is defending U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. Her and FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino are reportedly at odds over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files.
Chanley Painter joining us now.
Family, hold on. I got to go back. Do you guys recognize this dude? He's an agent. However, he's also a major podcast that's pushed by YouTube. He has a major podcast. So when I say these agents have been literally injected into the podcast space, into the broadcasting space, I mean that. And I know I digress, but I just had to bring that out because there's a lot more of these agents being put into these spaces. Amru Fudel is not the only one. Charleston White isn't the only one. Salute Jesse Paris.
Jeffrey Epstein files.
Chanley Painter joining us now with the details on that story. Hey, Chanley.
Hey, Kevin, Rachel, and Charlie. So the president is stepping in to defend his attorney general, Pam Bondi, as doing, quote, a fantastic job after she came under fire from some Trump supporters over the Department of Justice's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. The president posting this in part, quote, 1 year ago.
Salute to Rashad. Fudel is the gayest one, though. You're absolutely correct. God dang it, laying in the bed with them dang Nabisco men, hugged up. What kind of nonsense? Good point, family.
Our country was dead. Now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. The president's post coming after some Trump supporters criticized Bondi or even called for her resignation after the DOJ and the FBI on Sunday released a joint 2-page statement on the Epstein case that concluded there was no celebrity client list, naming those who allegedly took part in Epstein's history as a sexual predator. In February, though, Bondi had indicated that such a document was sitting on her desk. The DOJ also concluded that Epstein did commit suicide in his New York City jail cell in 2019 while awaiting further sex trafficking charges. Yet a missing minute in the jail video that was released has only spurred conspiracy theorists. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino reportedly clashed with Bondi over her handling of the Epstein matter last week and has told confidants that he may actually resign if Bondi remains in her post. Guys, we shall see.
Thank you, Chanley.
Thanks, Chanley.
Also conclude.
Hold on, let's go back and see.
Bondi or even called for.
Man, Kash Patel looks like a PDF file himself. I ain't even gonna lie. He looked like somebody you catch it walking down a dark alley and you're walking faster and he's walking faster behind you. That's what he looks like. He looks like a straight pervert trying to hide his face. BS you not. And family, I kind of heard through the grapevine that Kash Patel might be looking to resign. But we'll get back to that in a little bit. Let's get back over here.
We shall see.
Thank you, Chanley.
Thanks, Chanley.
You know, obviously there are lots and lots of questions that.
Right, Angeli. He got those crazy eyes. That's what it is. Those eyes. Him wearing that hat does not make it any better. Like it's just given. I'm looking for somebody to assault. Salute Jeremy Simmons. Thank you for being here. Jerome, excuse me. I don't know why I said Jeremy. Salute Jerome Simmons. Thank you for being here, family. Yeah, exactly. The deer in the headlights look. That's exactly what he looks like. Salute Taste and Teas with Tony. Thank you for being here, family. Salute to you.
Have been swirling up about Jeffrey Epstein for a long time, for over 10 years, and the government's involvement in it. If there's anybody who could walk in and say, okay, we've resolved all of the questions and there is nothing here, it would be President Trump and his crew. The problem is you can't really do it without giving some explanation, and there has to be some explanation. And I think that's why you have a lot of people still pretty with a lot of very valid questions about it.
You absolutely nailed it. You can defuse this ticking time bomb if you simply get out there, sit down, the AG, get the deputy director, and get the director himself. Put them in front of cameras, have them make a statement, and have them answer questions. We're only talking about 5 or 10 questions. But what this will do is, first of all, restores confidence. Number 2, it answers some of the basics, especially the simple things like, you can't tell me that 1,000 people were hurt and that there are no people out there that we can arrest. You can't tell me that, oh, sorry, we don't have a list. Fine, don't have a list. Tell me who the perpetrators were. Let's depose every single person who might have had a chance to get on that list and might have been out there at that island, and let's talk to them. Let's find out what happened. You telling me other videos out?
Let's take it a step further, which he's about to allude to. I know you can't put out the tape. Salute to our sister Mia Kim in the building. Thank you for being here, my sister. I know they can't put out the tapes, right? Because I'm pretty sure those tapes have some very damning situations on them with children. I understand that. But like I said, there's footage of these people coming and going. The whole island was set up with surveillance cameras. So from the time that you got off of that Lolita Express to the time that you walked into those buildings, the houses, whatever, you were being recorded. So you don't even have to release the tapes that have all the damning footage on it. Just release the tapes that has the people getting off the Lolita Express on Epstein Island. Salute to Wild Williams. Thank you for being here, my brother. Salute to you. That's all they got to do. Damn the list. A picture says 1,000 words.
Let's talk to them. Let's find out what happened. You telling me other videos out there in New Mexico and in the island and in New York, and nobody saw anything?
Oh, I forgot all about New Mexico. I forgot all about the mansion that he had in New Mexico, that he was out there trying to experiment with the girls that he was freaking that he had, put under his wing. Him and Peter Nygaard was on the same damn tip where they was trying to scientifically create more of them little bastards. Him and what's his name? I just said his name. I don't know. Peter Nygaard. They're into impregnating women with their seed to experiment. That's what that whole damn ranch out there in New Mexico was built for and what it was used for. And they raided everything else, but did not raid that mansion in New Mexico. They raided the mansion in Florida. They raided the brownstone, and they raided the 2 islands, Little and Great St. James. But they did not go down to New Mexico and clear out what was in that mansion.
I don't buy it, and that's why they need to get out there and face the fire. Doesn't have to be long, but you have to answer questions to the American people, because absent that, the story won't die, and that's a distraction the president doesn't want.
Of course, and in that True Social that he put out, he talked about all his accomplishments.
Yeah,
and he's saying, why let's not let this overcome. And I think he doesn't want that. I think his supporters don't want that, and I think that's why they.
I'm gonna have to correct what she just said. He didn't put out his accomplishments. What he did was crash out. He crashed out on True Social, just so y'all know.
want just some simple answers.
And of course, he's right about that. I mean,
There's no question.
none of this mars any of the extraordinary accomplishments, and
Right.
we want to keep going.
That's right.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I mean, like,
All right, Steve Ducey. Let's go here, family. This is the crash out. This is the crash out. This person, Liam McCollum, excuse me. He says, so that's where we're going with it. Obama, Hillary, Biden created the Epstein list. So now Trump is running around here saying that that Hillary Clinton, Obama, and Biden created the Epstein list. Family, why would the Clintons create the Epstein list? Why would they create an Epstein list when we know damn well that Bill Clinton is on that list or would be on that list? God dang it, in the brownstone in New York, Jeffrey Epstein had a picture of Bill Clinton in a blue dress, sitting in the chair with his legs crossed, pointing at you. That's how much he had, like, literally, Bill Clinton was Epstein's side chick. The same thing that Elondra Muskie was to Trump. Bill Clinton was Epstein's side piece. Let's be very clear. Salute me and Kim. Thank you for your cash app. Your donation is blessed tenfold. I appreciate your contribution, my sister. Let's make it very clear and plain. So when we're talking about the Clintons, shoot, they would have more, how do you say? They would be more inclined to hide a list rather than create one. Literally, Bill Clinton, he's been a lot of people's side piece, to be honest with you. What's his name? David Geffen. David Geffen was literally, Bill Clinton was David Geffen's side piece too at one point. The Clintons used to go and stay at his house and his mansions and things like that. He would go and sleep at the White House whenever he wanted to. But the problem was, David Geffen, if y'all don't know, he's a part of the rainbow community. He was pushing for Bill Clinton to remove the sanctions on, well, not the sanctions, but remove the policy of not allowing the rainbow community in the military. And instead of doing that, he settled, Bill Clinton ended up settling on don't ask, don't tell. And after that, David Geffen and Bill Clinton fell the hell out. And then David Geffen put his money behind another president who actually did remove the policy on the rainbow community joining the military. Can anybody guess who that man was that David Geffen put his money behind, who got in the White House and started removing all of those policies that said that the rainbows couldn't be in the military? I'll give you a hint. Oh, no hint necessary. Salute to our sister Angelic. Exactly. Obama. Good old Barry O. David Geffen actually called Obama and told him that he was going to run for president while he was in the Senate. Obama said it out of his own mouth. You know what? I don't know, Tori, and I'm gonna have to look into that. But I know that David Geffen, he's a stone cold gay man. This man has been out there repping his gayness for a while. Not just him, but Jimmy Iovine as well. But I digress. I said all that to say that Bill Clinton has been a lot of people's side chick. So it would behoove Hillary to actually hide a list and not create one. Weren't we just told that Biden would have released would have released the Epstein files if Trump was on them? If they created the files, wouldn't they have released them? Great question. If I created a file in order to hurt somebody, why wouldn't I release it to hurt somebody? I'm just wondering, why would I hold on to it if I really created this for the purposes of hurting someone? This is so embarrassingly insulting. At some point, we must stop using Bondi, Bongino, or Cash as scapegoats and demand answers from Trump himself. Well, that's what you should have been doing in the first place, Magites. That should have been your core response, Magites. You should have been at Trump's neck like, hey, listen, nah, what, damn Pam, damn Cash, damn Bongino. I need you to explain to us, Trump, why you lied to our faces. But a lot of the MAGA is so disillusioned by Trump, they don't even, they can't believe it. They can't believe it. Oh, he did. Okay, there's the answer right there. Looking him up, he dated Cher for almost 2 years. That's not surprising because they say Sonny Bono went both ways too. Oh, did I say that? Allegedly, Sonny Bono went both ways. So it's no surprise that Cher, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. But let's get into what Trump had to say here. And look at how much he had to say too. This man crashed the hell out. Cher was a man. I ain't gonna lie, when I heard that, do you believe in love after love? I was like, yeah, that might be a dude singing that song. I'm sorry, that doesn't sound like a feminine voice. But, you know, shout out to Cher, you know? Okay, let's go here. Let's see what Trump has to say here. He says, what's going on with my boys? And in some cases, gals. They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. He don't like that at all. He's eating a banana on the corner. He's going to have to drop a dime on that. We have a perfect administration. Perfect. Yeah. The cabinet full of DEI picks. Yeah, I would say you have a perfect DEI administration. I would have to throw in the DEI part. You have a perfect DEI administration. The talk of the world and selfish people. Oh, you're selfish if you're talking about this now. You're literally selfish if you want to know what really happened. Interesting. And selfish people are trying to hurt it all over a guy who never dies. Well, according to y'all, he is. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein. Over and over again. Y'all refuse to put out information year after year after year. Y'all refuse to tell us what really happened year after year after year. People are asking questions year after year after year because they see that you're not doing what you said you were going to do. Trump. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Excuse me. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan? He's just giving off names and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration. So are you telling me that these files didn't exist until Biden came into office? Was it Obama or the Biden administration? Because these are two different administrations that we know of. Maybe Obama was behind the scenes playing puppet master with Biden, maybe not. But these are two different administrations on paper. So was it Obama or was it Biden's administration? Because he damn sure made sure to throw Brennan in there and Comey, Crooked Hillary. Okay. Who conned the world with the Russia hoax? 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more. They created the Epstein files. Just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton, Christopher Steele's dossier. So now that's fake? That they use on me. And now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Oh, Magites, that must make y'all feel good. Trump called y'all his friends. Y'all must be sitting there patting yourself on the back. I know Tiny Terrence is. He over there doing line dances and everything else. Cooking pancakes, uncooked pancakes, dancing because he got a pat on the head from Trump. Guaranteed. Let's see. Okay. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? Why didn't you release the Epstein files? Why didn't you release them? Because if you remember, if I'm remembering correctly, this happened under your first administration. So you had the opportunity, didn't you, Trump? I could have swore you had the opportunity. Actually, two opportunities because you're in your second administration now. Yeah. Said, dang, the orange man wrote a whole dissertation, didn't he? Yeah, he did. He's trying to get his doctrine. He is trying to get his doctrine. Let's see here. If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? They haven't even given up on the JFK or Martin Luther King Jr. files. No matter how much success we've had securing the border, deporting criminals, fixing the economy, that's debatable. Energy dominance, a safer world where Iran will not have nuclear weapons. Didn't Iran come out already and say that y'all didn't even touch the right locations? Didn't they say it was a faulty mission to begin with because y'all didn't have the right locations? Y'all just bombing random locations? Okay. All right. It's never enough for some people. We are about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration has achieved in over 100 years. And we have so much more to do. We are saving our country and making America great again, which will continue to be our complete priority. All caps. Salute Opal Ivy. Thank you for being here, my sister. Shalom to you. All caps. The left is imploding, and so is MAGA. MAGA is imploding like a mother lover. Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud. Really? political corruption, Act Blue, the rigged and stolen election of 2020. Why is this even still a talking point? You already done got into office again. So if it was rigged in 2020, what good did it do in 2024? And arresting thugs and criminals instead of spending months after months looking at nothing but the same old radical left inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. Let Pam Bondi do her job, in all caps. He's screaming at you now, Magites. You better let her do her job. Let her do her damn job. While y'all out here asking for facts and figures and numbers and names. Y'all stopping Pam Bondi from doing her damn job. Let her do her damn job. She's great. He had to yell that to you too, just to let you know. She's great. The 2020 elections was rigged and stolen. Why does he keep going back to the 2020 elections? Why does he keep returning to the same 2020 elections? This is the second time he'd mentioned it. And they tried to do the same thing in 2024. That's what she is looking into as AG. And much more. 1 year ago, our country was dead. Now, it's the hottest. Hottest? Trump out here using the hottest? Really? Now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Family, I'd like y'all to let me know in the chat, does that sound like he had a crash out? Does it sound like he's trying to protect something that he don't want released? Does it sound like somebody came down from high up, touched him on the shoulder and said, you got to get rid of this now? That's what it sounds like to me. That's exactly what it sounds like to me. Because, like I said, we're going to go back in time real quick. Let's go back in time.
You went to that estate at one point. What do we know about this?
Well, we know that the FBI showed up this morning on boats at around 10:30 in the morning, a team searching his island, even though accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein is dead and the federal trial against him will never happen. It's still an unmistakable message from the Department of Justice. This isn't over. Today, unexpected guests showed up on Jeffrey Epstein's private Caribbean island. A team of FBI agents raided the luxury compound, while the Attorney General vowed not to let up on the investigation.
Let me assure you that this case will continue on.
Oh, Bill Barr? Oh, yeah. Guess what? He was in the dang Epstein Black Book as well. As a matter of fact, Bill Barr and Epstein had a very personal relationship. A very personal relationship, allegedly. His brother, as a matter of fact, I think it was Bill Barr that was the governor of New Mexico at the time when Jeffrey Epstein was doing what he was doing out there.
Against anyone who was complicit with Epstein.
Barr also fiercely criticized the federal jail where Epstein was being held.
We are now learning of serious irregularities at this facility that are deeply concerning.
The 66-year-old was discovered close to death early Saturday morning. According to an administration official familiar with the facts, Epstein had not been checked on for a number of hours, a violation of protocol, which requires checks roughly every half hour. Today, the prison union telling NBC News the jail is understaffed. Officers are overworked. On July 23rd, Epstein was put on suicide watch after being found injured with marks around his neck, triggering 24/7 monitoring, according to multiple law enforcement sources. But on or about July 29th, the suicide watch was dropped. A person familiar with the case tells NBC News on August 9th, the day before his death, Epstein's cellmate was released and not replaced, another apparent violation of protocol. That same day, Epstein's attorneys visited the facility, arguing that their client was mentally stable and should be moved to a less restrictive unit. Epstein wasn't moved. He hanged himself the next morning, according to multiple law enforcement sources, making the decision to drop the suicide watch one of many questions in the investigation.
It's quite hard to keep someone alive if they're really intent on killing themselves. And that,
my sister, me and Kim, I'm gonna be honest with you. I came across an article some time ago. It was probably about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, where basically the article was saying how the Mossad were breaking Israelis out of American prisons. These PDF files was breaking them out of American prisons and taking them over to Israel and protecting them there. So I would not be the slightest surprised if that's what they did in this situation too. And a lot of people feel the same way. Now, whether or not that's the case, we'll never know. But I actually believe that he might have been, snatched up out of there and taken over to Israel.
that's why whatever that watch status is becomes very important.
Epstein may have slipped past the experts, but investigators are still determined the story of his alleged crimes gets told. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News, New York.
Hey, NBC News.
So, family, like I said, ain't nobody believing the stories that are now coming out, because back then, this was Trump administration. This was Trump's administration that was questioning the situation at first. All of a sudden, now in your next term, more than, what is it? It was 4 years. It happened in 2019. More than almost 6 years. 6 years? You choose to say, nah, you know what? He really just, he really unalived himself. We're looking too deep into this. We're still talking about this guy? Nobody cares about this guy. No, you clearly care about the guy. You clearly care about your connection to the guy. You clearly care. Y'all was good old buddies and pals. You clearly care. Trust me when I say. And it absolutely makes no sense that all of a sudden, you do a complete 180. You just did a Charleston White. Congratulations. Complete 180. And then get hostile when he's brought up. Why are you getting so hostile, Trump? Why are you so upset that his name is brought up? Yeah, they all booed up. Thank you. All booed up in the picture. All booed up. Yeah, no, these are not photoshopped. These are pictures that I've been holding on for a while, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because I was actually working on a Jeffrey Epstein documentary back in 2020 when this first happened. But then I saw all the documentaries that actually dropped, and they were pretty damn good explaining all the information that I was explaining. Plus, there was a guy out by the name of Jason Burmis. And this dude, when I say this dude was very meticulous with dropping information on Jeffrey Epstein, he was very meticulous. He made sure whenever something popped up about Jeffrey Epstein, he was bringing it up. So if you really want to do a deep dive, on Jeffrey Epstein, find a page from a dude named Jason Bermans. Now, this is not me giving him the rubber stamp. I'm just saying, when it comes to the Epstein situation, he has some of the most documented information on his page. Now, everything else on his page, toss it away because, you know, he rocks with the white supremacists. He's a suspected white supremacist himself. But I get information as it comes, and it doesn't matter who I get it from as long as it's correct. However, let's go here, family. Oh, 1 second. Let me pull this down. Let's go here.
You talking about Epstein?
Yeah.
I think good to be back on with you, buddy. But this is what I will tell you. The #1 trending hashtag right now on X is Epstein. 2 million people have tweeted with the topic of Epstein. #2 is Nicki Minaj at 100,000. Comey's at 42,500. There is a reason why people are asking about this. This is by far, and I'm a supporter. 3 times I voted for this man. This is by far the biggest fumble of the administration they've had thus far. And here's the reason why. If you remember the president winning, he had a conversation with Fox News, the great Rachel Campos Duffy, and she asked, Mr. President, 9/11, yes. John F. Kennedy, yes. Epstein, he didn't say yes. He was a little bit hesitant of bringing that information out. Why?
That's another thing. I completely forgot about that too. Yeah. His offshore account activated a year after he was so-called unalive. That's a great point. Like I said, there's a lot going on here, and like it isn't just cut and dry the way they're trying to make it. There's a lot of information out on this. And since he has connections to the Mossad, I would expect that they would create a whole different account. No, these idiots went and reestablished one of his same damn accounts.
So why does his leadership team go out there and like, we have this information and we're going to release this and cash? And let me tell you what we have with Pam Bondi out of the state of Florida. She knew everything about Bondi, about Epstein. Why are you fumbling this? Why are you not having an emergency meeting together to conversate and say, hey, we're going to be on the same page with messaging on this. All you have to do is send a message to everybody, say, God, let's have a conference call. Here's what we're going to be saying about this, because this was a very important issue to not 80% of the voters that voted for President Trump, but I think 20% of the voters wanted to know what's going to happen with Epstein, and it's a big letdown. I totally get the big victories. Tariff, $300 billion valuation this year of how much money is going to come from tariffs. Last year, the government only got 80 billion or so. That's like a company increasing their valuation by 4x. Massive victory. The stuff that's going on with, different areas we're winning. What happened with, Iran, the back and forth, the conversations. I think this was the biggest fumble when it came down to Epstein. And the more they answer like that, the more attention you're going to draw to. People are going to ask, why are they so nervous about this? What do you know that the rest of us don't know? If it's just the fact that you want to hold people blackmail, is that the relation between everything? Everyone's read the stories. It's not like we don't know what it is. It's not like the only thing people watch nowadays is Fox. People watch Twitter. People go X. People go CNN. People go ChatGPT. People know what happened with this guy. But my biggest suggestion, let's not have another fumble like the one we just had here, because this was the biggest fumble by the administration.
Well, let's get.
Well, damn. Matter of fact. Damn! I wonder if Trump's going to come out and call Fox News fake news. I wonder if he's going to come out and call Fox News fake news now. Because they're saying the same damn thing. They're saying the same damn thing that every other news publication is going around saying. Why would you say you're going to drop something and you don't do it? Especially something as well known and wanted as the Epstein files. Now, although the list doesn't exist, the files certainly do. So why wouldn't you just declassify the files? If there's nothing in it and if they're just shutting it down, everything, okay, you should be able to declassify those files then, right? It shouldn't be a problem. but it is a problem. Why is it a problem? Because somebody found something in those files. Somebody found something in those files. This is just what I think, I believe, I assume. Somebody got caught up. Now, family, since all this stuff has been going on for the past few days or so, the MAGA mutant, the Magite mutant, Megyn Kelly has been going around, making her rounds, going all around talking about this. And you would think your girl Megyn Kelly would be all good with Pam Bondi. Because, you know, sisterhood of the traveling pants. You're all Magites. You're all Magites. So you would think the Magite ladies would be getting along. She would be defending her fellow Magite. What would be the female version of a Magite? What would be a female version of a Magite? Let me think here. Magita? Anyway, somebody come up with the female version of Magite for me. We're going to put that on full display. But you would think these two would be, you know, looking out for each other. Maggot, a maggot. Okay, we got Magites and maggots. Okay, that makes sense. Magneta. That's the good one. I like that. Magneta. The Magites and the Magnetas. Yeah, that makes them sound Hispanic, a little ethnic. But you would think these women would have each other's backs. Not Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly out here tossing everybody under the bus, except Trump. She's going after everybody but Trump. Let's go here.
Tan is a wonderful guy, and he's a very straight shooter. He's all heart. He's totally earnest. I don't believe Dan is lying to us. I don't. I don't know Cash as well. I don't mean to indict him at all. I'm just saying I don't know him the way I know Dan, who's been coming on the show for years. We've had many long hours and hours and hours. It's like you. I know him like I know you. Like, no one's going to.
I don't know you, Megyn Kelly. I don't even know why you said that. Oh, I know him like I know you. I know she's not talking to me directly, but still, you don't know anybody on the other side of that screen. Minions. Okay, so we got mad guys, we got minions, magnetas, maggots. Keep them coming. They're all 304s. Yeah, they're all fairies. Apparently, fairy's a new word for 304s. But still, yeah, I digress. Yeah, she better watch it because she might be the target next.
Convince me he would go out there and just blatantly lie. I don't believe it. So let's go down the line of he's telling the truth and Cash is. Again, we're checking Pam Bondi's weird statements for now. I know somebody very close to the Epstein case. I've never said who this is, but this is a very, very well-informed person. And this person from the beginning has told me that Epstein was into young girls. I don't know what he looked at online. I believe he probably did look at what now they just call child sexual assault material.
I would have to question the person that was really close with Epstein. The Donald Trump song. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to, let me see if I can pull that up too. Hold on.
We used to call it child pornography. I believe he was probably into that. But this person was saying in terms of what Jeffrey wanted brought to him at his mansions and his, island, it was the barely legal type. And in many states, that's not unlawful. The 17-year-old sex partner for a grown man is actually not illegal. Now, in some it is, and he got in trouble in Florida. So it is a possibility that was his thing when it came to actual sexual interactions. Forget what he was looking at online.
Did you guys peep that she just tried to downplay the situation of him messing with minors? Well, you know, in some areas, it's quite legal to mess with 17-year-olds instead of 30. Epstein was messing with 14-year-old girls, 15-year-old girls, 16-year-old girls, 17-year-old girls. He didn't just date 17-year-old girls. He was messing with 14 and up. Actually, from some accounts, he was messing with an 11-year-old. He was traveling back and forth to Africa doing those sescapades over there with 11, 12-year-olds. It was reported. So I don't even know why she tried to do that.
And it is a thing that, you know, he had some of those girls who weren't committing crimes with powerful men. And that while he had a very interesting black book that had names including Donald Trump's in it, that doesn't amount to a client list. And there aren't young girls who can point the fingers. There is Virginia Giuffre.
You know why there isn't any young girls? Because those young girls are adults now, and those adults who actually partook in some of those situations with him, they got a sweetheart deal. They got amnesty. Virginia Giuffre is not the only woman that actually was named in the damn court cases. I forget the woman's last name, but her name is Sarah something. I'm forgetting her last name. But Sarah, who ended up becoming a pilot, she's still walking around. She's still alive. Why ain't y'all bringing her up? Why aren't y'all talking to her? Oh, for the same reason that nobody wanted to go after her after Epstein, because they wanted to sweep all this under the rug.
Who recently died.
Salute to Ciroc Sota. I think we got a winner. Female MAGA, Maggies. I love it. I love it. Salute to you, founder. Thank you for being here.
Who was the girl pictured with Prince Andrew in those infamous Daily Mail photos that we've all seen, where she was, I think, 17 and with Prince Andrew. This is why he got excommunicated from his family. She says the girls were being funneled out to third parties, to other men, and that she was one of them. But I'm sorry, Virginia Giuffre is a proven, God rest her, I'm sorry, liar, a proven liar. And not only do I firmly believe she lied about Alan Dershowitz, and she admitted she might have been confused about him. A lot of stuff she said turned out to be just totally false.
Like what, Megan? Like what? If you can't give us an example of what she said that was false, then you yourself are the liar. Because if it wasn't for her, a lot of people wouldn't even have known about Epstein. If she didn't give the account that she gave, Epstein wouldn't even went to jail for that little dumbass year that he went to jail for. So please enlighten us. Let me know, what was she a liar? What made her a liar? What was the statements that she made that made her a liar? And what was the statements that she made that wasn't true?
It's complicated because these victims, you know, these predators choose them for a reason. They'll choose a girl like that because they know maybe she's going to have credibility problems and so on. So I'm trying not to be disrespectful to her, but there's no question that Virginia Giuffre did tell a lot of lies. And there's a lot of other people who, when Jeffrey Epstein went down, saw dollar signs in their eyeballs, because let's not forget he was very rich, and said,
does this sound like she's trying to cape for Jeffrey Epstein? That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like she's trying to diminish the whole situation. Very interesting.
I know something. I want to pay out, or I was a victim and I want to pay out. And it wasn't always true. All of these are complicating factors in like the lure around him. And it is possible this guy did not want to spend the rest of his life in prison.
So basically what she's saying is it's possible that he underlied himself. Yeah, it's possible. It's very possible. Is it plausible? I don't think so, but I guess you could say, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. But here she is again. Sitting there with the big gum pillow teeth guy, Charlie Kirk.
So President Trump should be getting the Nobel Peace Prize, and there's all sorts of things he's focused on. I just don't think this has captured his attention quite yet. But it needs to, because it's starting to create a real hornet's nest within the administration. And I've got to be honest, I blame Pam Bondi. I'll tell you why, okay? I have nothing, yes, incompetence, yes. I have nothing against...
Incompetent. When we were running around here saying that Trump had a DEI cabinet, people such as Megyn Kelly was talking about, oh no, these are great picks. These are great picks. I remember that vividly. Because god dang, Kid Gravity was running around here just laughing at every damn pick, making sure that everybody was aware that these people had no experience and that they were DEI selections. But people like Megyn Kelly, she wouldn't admit to that. Oh, yeah. Karen Kelly was in there, I guess, in the room with production. I believe it. I believe it. You sitting there talking about somebody I'm very close to, knew Epstein, all this other stuff. It was you. You were the person who was very close to Epstein. That's my belief. That's my assumption. It was you, Kelly.
Pam Bondi as a human being, I was fine with her nomination and her confirmation, and she's been loyal to the president. And I get that President Trump needs a loyal attorney general. Look what happened with Sessions. The first time he went away, and then the next thing you know, we had the Mueller investigation. It was a nightmare. But there are a lot of other people who can be loyal and competent in that job. Here, she is the reason that things are unraveling around this story right now that virtually all of the Republican Party cares deeply about. It's also true that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel had questions about Epstein before they took office, okay, before they went to the FBI. But once they joined the FBI, they said nothing. They kept their mouths shut about Epstein. You have not seen them, except for one joint appearance with Dan and Kash on Fox, running all over the media looking for attention on this, yes, clickbaity story. Who have you seen? Pam Bondi. She has never missed an opportunity to go on television and dangle sweet nothings that might be coming your way. Try to lead you to believe that she's got it, it's on her desk, it's coming tomorrow, you're gonna see something on Epstein. And it was a tease. So you either believe that Pam Bondi was telling the truth then, or that she's telling the truth now, but both cannot be true. She was either lying when she went on Fox News all those times saying, I got it, we're looking at it, wait until you see it, it's horrible. Or she's lying in her 2-page memo that they released on a Sunday night at the tail end of a holiday weekend to Axios, as if Axios is where we all go for our news. Hell no. She went to someone she knew would not kick the tires on the story, and without signing the memo, dropped it in the dead of night and said, that's it, take the crumbs and be happy. Refused to come out and give a presser, and give a press conference, stand there for 6 hours to the point where people are dying of boredom. They've asked all their questions. That's how you put a scandal to rest. But she wouldn't even sign her name to it. And I'm telling you, I have dollars to donuts. It's going to come out that there was internal consternation over that memo and whose name did and did not go on it and who it was and was not behind it. And so now you have a situation where her words on the record on Fox News are diametrically opposed to what she put in this memo. She's embarrassed the president. She's embarrassed herself. And Dan and Kash, to the extent they've had to sign off on that, let's understand the FBI is controlled by the DOJ. FBI is subservient to DOJ. She's their boss. That they're in this position where the only comments they've made on the record as administration officials have been, we don't think he killed himself. And we don't think he got murdered. We think he did kill himself. We've looked at the tapes, and Kash to Joe Rogan saying, if I saw all these tapes of Jeffrey Epstein with little girls, trust me, I would show you. But I haven't seen it. Okay, so what they're saying now is consistent with what they've said since they joined the office. And that is one of the many reasons why this scandal is squarely on her. And I'm telling you, I'm of the cable news universe. I've seen it happen a million times. People get thirsty. They love to see themselves on television. They love to see their names in the league lights. They love the attention. They love the little emails and texts and tweets and thumbs.
Just like you, Megyn Kelly. Just like you. Salute the stolen ancestors. I wish I could be a fly on the wall when Kirk goes to mass. Do you think his teeth can fit through the doors? I don't think his teeth are fitting through the doors, and they got double doors. This man's teeth are 3 sizes bigger than his head. I don't know how his head even sits up straight, to be honest with you. I don't think he can make it in the door. I think he just be lying. I swear to God.
Up to get after their appearance and they can feel their star rising. And listen, internally, I'm told there's a bit of like a power struggle between Pam Bondi and another female administration official on who's going to be the top dog. You know, we've got a great bench behind President Trump. We've got JD, we've got Marco, you know, we've got Hegseth. We've got a lot of people who could potentially be next up. But there are some women who got their eye on that role too.
He probably had his little boy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He can't keep his mouth closed. The teeth won't let him. He out here telling it all. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Donkey. Exactly. His teeth is as big as donkeys from Shrek. I am not playing. And his gums are so tiny. I just can't deal with looking at the man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's go here.
Okay, so, but anyway, it's not like whatever. I mean, I believe COVID started in the lab and all that. I'm not a complete loon, but I'm just saying I'm not somebody who thinks we didn't have the moon landing or all that stuff. So my point is simply on Epstein, all along, I've been like, hey, he might have killed himself. I don't know, he might have, you know, he's facing a lifetime in jail. He's a miserable guy. I don't know if there's going to be client lists or not. I'm not sure. You know, so my silly point, my point in raising this is for me to be looking at her saying, I don't believe you is telling. It's telling even in my own heart, because I am trying to go down the non-conspiratorial route to say, okay, there are no client lists. It was just Jeffrey Epstein and his own perversions. I'm just going to forget all the stuff about the planes and the islands and all that. Okay, I'm just going to say, I know Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted of trafficking girls to Jeffrey. That is true. There was no evidence in that trial. She was trafficking them to, you know, all the other names that we've heard and or any others that we haven't. So, okay, I'm going down the lane with you. What then makes Pam Bondi come out and do all those things like, I've got juicy stuff is basically what she was saying, and get the influencers there to try to look like it's shit's going down, you know, like you're gonna get the truth from us, and then like doubling and tripling down. And then why did she switch it to child pornography, which I do believe there is. I believe the FBI does have that of Jeffrey Epstein. But to me, I guess that was probably her out, because now she's starting to realize either she is caught that she doesn't have the other stuff, or someone has slapped her hand to say, you can't release that. And so now she's got to pivot to something entirely, it's not off topic, but it's not what was being promised. Client lists and blackmail material were what we thought. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein's sick, disgusting, felonious enjoyment of child sexual assault material is disgusting and horrific, but it's a pivot away from where we were going on the story and what she was promising. So I don't know. I wish I had all the answers. All I know is it doesn't make sense. And as my mentor, Judge Judy, says, if it doesn't make sense, it isn't true.
Oh, snaps. Her mentor, Judge Judy. Okay. Makes a lot of sense of why you're a racist. Judge Judy's racist as hell. Let's move along, family. Now that we done got Megyn Kelly out the way and her kind of downplaying the situation, you got the same thing happening with your Ben Shapiro type. Let's go.
We now have the answers. And the problem is this. People who never hedged their bets, people who never at any point suggested to you that they don't have data to back up the speculation, that the speculation was in and of itself the conclusion that if you speculate without evidence, that amounts to an actual conclusion to an investigation, they're going to be very upset today, because it turns out that the DOJ and the FBI.
Real quick, family.
Internalize the flatulation of the matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux of my venereal infection.
That's what this whole first intro sounds like, family. Listen to it again.
We now have the answers. And the problem is this. People who never hedged their bets, people who never at any point suggested to you that they don't have data to back up the speculation, that the speculation was in and of itself the conclusion that if you speculate without evidence, that amounts to an actual conclusion to an investigation, they're going to be very upset today, because it turns out that the DOJ and the FBI have concluded that Epstein didn't have a client list and died by suicide, according to a memo detailing the findings obtained by Axios. Now, again, does this put to bed like all inquiries? Of course not. People can continue to speculate as much as they want. And I think there's still open questions here regarding how did Epstein make his money? But that's a very serious.
We know how he made his money, you goddamn nincompoop. He was literally getting people to give him funds because he had them on tape. He would literally have people investing in him and his hedge fund And his hedge fund did absolutely nothing but spend the money how they saw fit. We know how he made his money, by pushing little girls. And in some cases, little boys. Oh yeah, that was a situation too, family. If you didn't know, it wasn't just girls. The girls are the ones that actually was put out. But it was some boys in there too.
Serious open question. And the speculation for a long time was he made his money from blackmail. But the DOJ and the FBI, again, run by people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, are telling you, I'm not telling you, they're telling you, people who are members of the Trump administration, people you elected and put into these positions to get you the truth on this matter, are telling you that he didn't, in fact, he was not murdered. He did not keep a client list. And he did not blackmail powerful figures. Okay, right? That is the thing that they are saying, not I. They are saying this. If you're willing to throw that over and claim they're lying, then I'd like to see you present your evidence that they are in fact lying. Because I know Dan. I don't think that Dan Bongino is lying to me.
It just sounds like somebody trying his hardest to cover up Mayo-splaining. If you think they're lying, then I'm going to need you to present evidence. How can we present the evidence when the evidence is already there? We can go back and watch all the different news articles that was giving the information out. But yet you're trying to tell me that in order to say that he's lying, that somebody has to bring you evidence? You wouldn't believe the evidence if it was in your face. What was the thing dude said? The absence of evidence isn't the absence of the facts. You guys been sitting here hiding evidence left and damn right. And of course you, Shapiro, would like to put an end to the Epstein situation because it's your folks that's tied to it, ain't it? The so-called people, the top hat community.
I know Kash Patel a little bit. I don't think Kash Patel is lying to me. I don't think these people are lying to me.
You know Kash Patel, so you know he got crazy eyes. You can't even look him in the eyes and hear what he has to say and believe it because those eyes won't let you believe it. I wouldn't believe a damn thing Kash Patel brings forward. I don't believe a damn thing Kash Patel ever says. Because the eyes is a window of the soul, and that man has no soul. I don't see a soul at all when I look through those eyes. Salute Maneuver. Thank you for being here, family. I don't see it. So I don't even know how this dude talks. I know Patel, I don't think he would lie to me. Yes, he's a federal agent. He would, dumbass. You know what? Let me not say dumbass. Let me say low logic creature. You're a low logic creature.
Which means that if somebody else continues to claim that they're lying, they ought to provide their evidence at this point.
We didn't watch all the evidence for the past 5 years just disappear while we were still looking at it. The evidence of the tape, they said there was no tape. All of a sudden, there's a tape. But now the tape comes out and it's missing 1 to 2 minutes of footage. And they say, oh, well, it's missing that 1 to 2 minutes of footage because of the fact that we re-record over different tapes and we must have recorded over that part. Oh, only 2 minutes? Really? Does that make sense to you? It damn sure don't make sense to me. What about the rope marks that was on his neck? If he hung himself using a towel, or excuse me, not a towel, a sheet, it's not going to leave deep rope necks in his neck. I mean, like, these are things that an investigator would literally look at and say, no, that right there was done by somebody maybe 1 to 2 times his strength. A blanket or a sheet is not as thin as a tiny string of rope. It could have been dental floss. But those marks are on his neck, were on his neck at the time of autopsy. You can go read the damn autopsy report. But okay. He wants you to prove to him. He wants you to bring your evidence. As if they wasn't taking it and putting it in different places. Oh, let's hide this here. I don't want nobody looking here.
And now is the point at which the facts on the ground have changed. And so either you ought to shift your opinion based on the facts that have now emerged, or you ought to acknowledge that this was never a fact-based inquiry in the first place.
Mayo-splaining. All of a sudden, it wasn't a fact-based inquiry. This stuff happened under Trump's first administration. It also led to an investigation by Trump's administration because clearly they felt there was something wrong. Clearly they felt that something just wasn't adding up. Clearly. But now the facts have changed, so now you must change your perspective, even though nobody believes that the facts have changed at all. Family, these folks are either in denial or they're trying to cover for Trump. But the Magites on the ground, the Magites on the ground, they're not having that at all. They're upset. Let me show you. Let's go here.
I'm not going to play with these anymore. MAGA hats are off. Burn, baby, burn.
Family, I did Disco Inferno. Burn, baby, burn. Family, I did a broadcast. Matter of fact, it wasn't a broadcast. It was a premiere video. But I did a video and I would ask the question, what would MAGA be after Trump? Looks like we ain't even got to wait until after Trump. MAGA is imploding upon itself. It is imploding upon itself. And it's a good thing. It is hilarious. And it is warranted. But y'all wouldn't feel so disappointed if you wasn't so damn stupid. You wouldn't be so disappointed if you didn't trust them to begin with. I was always taught to never trust a politician as far as you can throw them. And a lot of people, they like to say, well, Trump isn't really a a politician. He is more of an entertainer who went into politics. Still the same thing. It is the exact same thing. As a matter of fact, what was his name? Ronald Reagan did the same damn thing. It does not make him any less of a politician whatsoever. Salute, Sugar Bear. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. But MAGA, the Magites, are breaking their sect. They're breaking their ranks. They're saying, you know what, that's enough. Enough is enough. And a lot of folks is like really trying to put it together. They're like, you know, all these things that's been going on in the country, and the line in the sand is this for MAGA? Yeah, the line in the sand is this for MAGA. Why? It's not really about the children at all. They think and they thought that those Epstein files would target the Democratic Party. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. The QAnon crowd, they never ever brought up Epstein's ties to the Republican Party, because Epstein donated not just to Democrats, but to Republicans as well. That's a proven fact. But they thought that Epstein's files would implement the Democrats. I guarantee it. And now, since they're not putting anything out, now since they all been duped, you got videos such as this going around where everybody putting Trump protects pedos as if we didn't already know. As if people ain't been calling this out, as if there wasn't already god dang court cases with Jeffrey Epstein and Trump's name on it both. Now, if one person says something about you, it could be a lie. If two people say something about you, the very same thing, it should be investigated. But when 3 to 4 to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people say the same thing about you, and plus there's court cases and things like that, oh yeah, you're guilty. You're guilty as hell. You remember how the women at the pageants that Trump used to host came out and said Trump would just walk into the dang dressing room while they were undressed and getting dressed? People have been telling you a long time about Donald J. Trump. But you either had people who really supported him and really liked him because he told you himself, oh, they let me do anything they want, anything I want to them. I can grab them by the nookie and they'll love it. Instead of people seeing it for the comment that it was, you had a bunch of Maggies, the Magnetas, out here putting on the pink vagina hats, marching for Donald Trump. Now, all of a sudden, you guys have an issue? Come on. If you have an issue, grab a tissue. Let's go here, family.
I can't be the only person who thinks that
MAGA being as riled up as they are over the Epstein files, sure, a lot of them do care about it, but a greater majority of them are basically just using it as an out to get out of like the cult that they're in. Like,
family, does this man got on eyeliners? It looks like this man got on eyeliners. I'm sorry, I digress. That just threw me for a loop.
I can't be the only person who thinks that MAGA being as riled up as they are over the Epstein files, sure, a lot of them do care about it, but a greater majority of them are basically just using it as an out to get out of like the cult that they're in. Like, it gives them a valid reason to say, hey, this is my line in the sand, I'm not MAGA. And it gives them like a reason to get on TikTok, get on video, and burn their Trump gear. Like, hey, I'm not supporting MAGA anymore. And they get rid of all the evidence. They'll burn their shit saying, you know, I don't support Trump anymore. I can't be the only person who thinks this, right?
That was a very great point. They're getting rid of all their paraphernalia so that they can say, oh, I've never supported that guy. I knew he was trouble from the start. Looks like he had fake lashes on. Yeah, I'm just confused. He looked like he had the cat eye on there. You know how you got the eyeliner and you go past your eye and go into the corner of your eye and stuff? That's what it looked like he had on. Let's go here.
First, the Epstein files exist. I don't even know where the first is anymore. First is, I don't even know anymore. And then they went away. And then they didn't exist anymore. And now they exist again. But they were written by Obama, Hillary, and Joe Biden. Because, you know, they all have nothing better to do. So what narrative are the, what narrative? I don't see Republicans as MAGA. I see MAGA as MAGA maniacs. I don't see a Republican Party. What?
How is MAGA responding to Trump saying that the Epstein client list never existed? Well, see for yourself.
I'm a Trump supporter, and I'm going to tell you this right now. If this is the verdict, there's no Epstein client list. If we don't get accountability for the thousands of victims that were abused, then I'm jumping ship, and all of you should as well.
This is all going in the trash. I do not support Trump anymore. He's a liar. He's a part of the deep state. I do not support Israel. I will not be supporting him anymore. He's part of the deep state.
The whole thing that this tape shows he didn't kill himself is like a joke. But worse than that, it's a joke that we all get. Like, they're not fooling anybody. So I feel like we're at a dangerous point now.
So now by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just, you cannot see it any other way.
Not Alex Jones. Like my brother Reeve said, he gagged. Yikes. Not Alex Jones. You even got Alex Jones turning on your Trump? Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Alex Jones.
So I just got to the office. I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I'm not physically going to puke probably right now. My mouth's watering right now. Because I haven't.
What the hell was that?
I'm going to puke really, really bad happens. So I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only.
What? Family? What in the goddamn hell was that? What is he doing? He looked like Kyle Rittenhouse on the stand. What the hell?
It happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I'm not physically going to puke probably right now. My mouth's watering right now. Because I have integrity.
So this message goes out to Donald Trump and his people. I've been asked before, what would it take for you to not support Donald Trump anymore? I always said, well, it'd take a lot. I've literally made thousands of videos on this app supporting you, sir. So if you're
family, don't he look like one of those pretendians? Yeah, he looks like he got on the $5 dolls rolls.
deciding that Epstein is the bridge that you're going to burn, I got the match, sir. You're telling me there's no list after you told me there was a list. You're telling me that you don't care about these victims. This is a promise you made to the American people, sir. Non-negotiable. You've always been in tune with your supporters. Always. 100% spot on. Not this time, sir. You missed this one.
I voted for Donald Trump in 2016, 2020, and 2024. I am prepared to die on this hill. If Donald Trump is part of the Epstein list and why he has decided to pretend like doesn't exist anymore, then the war that I've been waging on liberals, I plan to wage on Donald Trump if he cannot explain or make sense of this soon. It's pointing.
Damn, family. Billy Bob, this is he is not having it. He said Billy said the war that I've been raging on the libtards. Oh, I'm gonna send that Donald Trump's direction. The Nabiscos have made their point. They are highly heated. How dare you tell me there was a list and then tell me there wasn't a list and then tell me there's a list again, but it was written by Hillary Clinton and Obama and Joe Biden. How dare you do this? Okay, Billy Bob, let's let you continue.
To that he is implicated.
So I voted for Trump, and this Epstein thing is just insane. But I think it's showing us one thing, and that's our country is unified for the first time in a long time. And I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, we all know this administration is guilty. So
who's unified? Who is unified? Sir. Foundational Black Americans ain't unified with none of you. We stand alone. We're the lone wolves around here. We are not. We are not in solidarity with none of you at all. I don't even know where you got that thought from. To be honest with you, it sounds ludicrous to me. It sounds preposterous. It sounds outlandish. This got nothing to do with us. Y'all believe that he was going to go and release all these files and names and dates and places. I was one of the people going around telling people that there is no list. There's never been a list. If you want to know the name of these people, you got to go into the court cases. Read some of the court cases on file. They didn't declassify some of those names. So some other names they still have classified, but they declassified some of those names. If you want to know who is on the island, who is in those mansions getting massages and all that other stuff, it's in the court case. But you dummies wanted to hold Big Daddy Trump over your head and carry him to freedom for saying he was going to goddamn unclassify the Epstein files. You were the stupid people. And now you're mad because your stupidity has led you to an end of the road. You thought you was going to be able to take the I-90 all the way to where you needed to go. Come to find out, the road was shut down. It was closed. And you're mad that you're looking at an end of the road sign. You were the dummies that believed it. So don't come and try to put us into your nonsense talking about we're, for the first time in a long time, we're united on this. No. Y'all continue to deal with that. That was y'all uplifting Trump like that. Because over here, Trump ain't our daddy. Over there, Trump is y'all daddy. And y'all love calling him daddy. Y'all call him Big Daddy Trump. Brian Donalds, what he say? Daddy's home. Y'all, daddy's home, right? Go and deal with your dad. Go and deal with your dad. We're all united. Negro, please. Let's go here.
As a former conservative, I really need to explain something to you all.
Family notice, she says, as a former conservative, she's a liberal now. When we say in the Black grassroots that these people take off the Republican and liberal title like a jacket and hang it up in a closet until it's time to use it, this is what we mean. These people, these Nabiscos are fickle, very, very fickle. And they will literally jump ship the first chance they get if they don't like something you're doing. Somebody said it in the chat a little while ago. These hoes ain't loyal. These Nabiscos ain't loyal.
I've seen a lot of my fellow liberals saying, so the Epstein files are the line for MAGA? They don't care about women's rights. They don't care about the Black community. They don't care about immigrants. They don't care on and on and on. This is what it is? Well, yeah, it is. But it's not because they care about kids. Let's start there. It's because their ultimate goal in life is to own the liberals. Shakes fist, right? And they all believe that the Epstein files are full of the lids. They're ultimate enemies and arch nemesis. And this way, they can prove that all the hate, all the vitriol, everything they've had for these liberals, for these Democrats, is all justified because their kid, you know, right? Well, suddenly, Daddy, who campaigned on this, right? I mean, go back, watch the videos. It's everywhere, every rally, every stop. Listen, his interviews, he was going to release those files because Dirty Joe Biden won't do it, but I'll do it because I care about kids. Right, okay. So he's going to do that. Well, now he's in power. And he thinks, they're not going to remember that. I'm doing all kinds of incredible things like cutting Medicaid and Medicare. Apparently, Michael likes that. I don't understand. Anyways, I'm doing all the things. They're not going to think about that. I'm their daddy. I'm their king.
Oh, salute to Christopher L. She said, well, where them fans at? Hit them one time. Love it. We got our boots on the ground, but not for them. That's what's happening.
Yeah, right? But they do remember. And they especially were reminded of it when Elonia Muskrat and Daddy Dumpy Pants broke up. And Elonia said, Donald, darling, don't forget, you're in the files. Suddenly, pictures, interviews, all the things come out to show that Daddy was besties with Uncle Jeff. Just let that out, which not that they couldn't have looked that up, but they're not going to. And honestly, in conservative circles, you're taught that anything that contradicts what you're being told is like demonic evil, the work of the liberals. Right. So again, it's all about owning the lids and showing that they are the evil of the earth. Well, if he doesn't release these files, that unravels all their ideology. Because it either means, in their mind, he's on the side of the liberals and he's trying to protect them, which is crazy to think, or what the liberals have been saying is true, and Daddy was besties with Uncle Jeff and did some really naughty things, and they're in those files. So yeah, they're not upset because they care about kids. I mean, they're cutting their SNAP benefits, their Medicare, all that. They don't care about kids, right? But they do care about owning the lids. And if he won't do that for them, well, the house divided will not stand. And they will send Daddy packing. And they'll go over to Belonia's house. I believe that Mommy might get them in the divorce with the new party that's being built. Yes. Anyways, just thought I should open your eyes, Nat.
And these people really think that this party that Elandra Musty is setting up is going to be something. No. You can't set up a new party in this country without Black Americans. It's just not going to work. Because all you doing at that point in time, you're splitting your base. You're splintering your base. So you'll have some on the Republican side and some in the new party. And all that does is give the libtards, all the liberals, all the Democrats an advantage. If you split, because I'll be honest with you, Trump barely won. He barely won. If he would have did something or said he was going to do something for the Black community and actually was going to do it, we could have tipped the balance. And that's what happens with any party. We're the balance tippers. We're the swing votes. So we ain't going to have no new political party. Elandra Musty is not going to be able to create a new party. And if he does, it's not going to go anywhere. Just have to throw that in there. But where my sister say, where that damn. There we go. Salute to our sister Aquarius, because yes, everything that Jeff and Trump was allegedly doing together was a big open secret. Hell, everything that Epstein was doing was a big open secret in politics, in entertainment, in academia. This man was dealing with some of the top professors at goddamn Yale, Stanford, and goddamn Harvard. So yeah, all of this was an open secret for all those who knew. So the Magites being so damn dumb, thinking that, oh, well, Trump's telling the truth. He's going to release the files. He ain't been on those islands. There's no pictures of Trump on those islands. He's going to release these files and we're going to get these libtards. How'd that work out for you? Exactly. Everybody knew what was going on. Everyone knew. One of my favorite songs, "The Change Gonna Come." Oh, yes, it will. One of these days, trust me. Let's go here. This is the last clip here, family. Remember, I talked to you guys about the Black Book. Now you got people who are so out of it. They're trying to make it seem like the Black Book that was released was actually the list in itself. Let's go here.
So how did I know that this was the actual list? Well, because when it actually was released the first time, it was on the internet the first time. Do you know it was available his first presidency? People tried to share it, but it just didn't get any traction.
What the hell are you talking about, woman? I seen the Epstein Black Book PDF circulating more than I like to remember, to be honest with you. So what the hell is she talking about? It didn't get any traction. This thing right here was circulating all across the web because if you remember, there was an election coming up. And so they were trying their hardest to make sure that Trump and Epstein's name were synonymous with each other.
So that is how I knew when I looked at it again that this was the actual Black Book that they used in the trial. Unfortunately, the first time we tried to get it out there, nobody listened. Nobody. So I'm glad people are starting to wake up and realize what many of us have been saying. I used to listen to him on Howard Stern. I couldn't stand him. He was foul, disgusting.
Family, like I said, these folks is trying to cope. These folks are trying to figure out ways they can deal with it. They won't even accept reality at this point in time, especially people like her who's just trying to make the Black Book into the list. They want to make sure they're trying to hold in their head. They're trying to hold the vision of Trump being the savior in their head. And so they're trying their hardest. They're trying their hardest to fathom or create some sort of tie that will show that Trump kept his word. But the fact of the matter is he didn't. And you guys are sitting here looking stupid. He left y'all holding the bag. He left y'all holding the bag. And inside of the bag is a pile of Magite shit. and it stinks. You're just sitting there holding it. How do you feel, Magites? How do you feel, Magonitas? Maggies? How do you feel? Do you feel dumb? We got to end off with your native side piece, Elandra Musty. Seriously, he said Epstein half a dozen times while telling everybody to stop talking about Epstein. Just released the files as promised. Ooh! Elandra out here sounding like a jaded female, taking any chance he get to do a couple of punches to the gut. Salute Priscilla Taylor. Thank you for being here, my sister. You know, the documentary Open Secret, I believe that it was removed because I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, it was on Netflix for a while. It was either on Netflix or Hulu for a while. And then that just disappeared. And there was a few other documentaries that QAnon put together that was very, very big during the time. I'm spacing on the name of the biggest one. It was a big documentary too. But all of those documentaries just disappeared. They just vanished. So I'm kind of feeling they were already setting the grounds for this. People think that Trump is the president, the same way they thought that Biden was the president. But the fact of the matter is, every president has somebody behind them that's telling them what to do. Now, yes, Trump is more radical, does not mean that he is not playing by someone else's game. Because almost everything this man has talked about, he backtracked on. He said America first, come to find out America third or fourth or fifth. Salute AB, thank you for being here. He said that he was going to end wars, and he's out here providing weapons for wars. He said Elon would be good for the country. We know how that turned out. Almost everything that he's been saying, he's kind of backtracked on. That's why I'm keeping an eye on this birthright citizenship situation. I'm gonna be 100 with you, because I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to backtrack on that too. Let's keep it 100. Just as Magites are fickle, so is their leader. As I'm going to say that one more time. As the Magites are fickle, so is their leader. Salute me, Kim. Yep, Trump has a handler. They all do. And that's my serious belief. Each and every one of them. Well, you got to tell people what they want to get the vote. Absolutely. That's exactly what he did. He went around telling people what they wanted to hear so that they run to the polls for him. That's exactly what they did. That's exactly what he did. That was his whole strategy. Watch me go out here, and I'm going to go out here and I'm going to tell them that I'm going to release the Epstein files, and I'm be lying. But guess what? They'll never know it. By the time they find out, it'll be too late. It is going to be beautiful. It's going to be wonderful. And he got those votes. He got those votes. What about he was going to charge the companies that kept hiring these illegals yet nothing? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you seriously want to get rid of these illegals, you got to go after the people that's incentivizing them to be here. And we ain't seen that yet. There was a lot of talk, but nothing. Ain't seen it. See, the difference between the Magites and the Black grassroots is that we do our research and then we make sure when people say things, we hold them to it. We're not going to sit here and allow somebody to come in and use us any further. But right now, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. These folks are having buyer's remorse. But you get what you paid for. If you go into a store, you grab a stick of bubble gum, a pack of gum, and you pay your 30, 40 cents, however a pack of gum is now. It used to be a dime when I was coming up. Then they went to a quarter. I don't know what they is. They might be 99 cents now. But I digress. If I walk into a store and I purchase a stick of gum, a pack of gum, inside of that pack of gum, guess what's going to be inside? Gum. Because I got what I paid for. I'm not going to open the pack of gum and a Ferrari pops out. And that's the problem with a lot of these folks. They think they're going to go buy a pack of gum and a Ferrari is going to jump out. A Lamborghini is going to jump out. No, you bought gum. There's gum in that pack. You voted for Trump. Guess what? You got Trump. Let's be very clear about that. Oh, salute Wild Williams. Bass talking about 50 stacks per illegal. Yeah, I got a broadcast coming up on Karen Bass too. And her wanted to give reparations, quote unquote, kinda. That's what it is, basically. Wanted to give reparations to illegals because they're afraid to go to work. All these people are showing who they are. And Black Americans are the only people that believe them. Foundational Black Americans are the only people that's calling it for what it is and not for what we want to see. Because wanting to see something doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see something. Let's be very clear. So, to the Magites, I'm in with this. Put a quarter in your ass because you played yourself. Next time, try not to run your joystick so much. Pause. Because you were so busy moving, you couldn't see the game that was sitting right in front of you. And to be honest with you, in the words of our brother Torian Reigns, I feel nothing. You get what you deserve. And with that being said, family and friends, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description, go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. Family, we winning. We are. And all we're doing is sitting back watching the show as it unfolds. It's only been 6 months. Really? 6 months and 13 days. We ain't even made it a full year yet, family. There's so much more to go. And I look forward to it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I look forward to it. I look forward to sitting back and laughing all the way through. That's it. That's all. Salute to Christopher. He says, you can only pull that trick once. We are in the exchange of information age. You're absolutely correct. Unless you're a Magite. See, you know, that I wouldn't be surprised if they voted for him again if he decided to run again. If they changed the damn term limit. What did he say? Church had me rolling when when the Mayo said when he get lost to run to the big FBA. Yes. Yes. You gotta run to us. That's what they're doing. Oh my God. Trump didn't release the papers. We gotta come together as a country. Negro, please. It's a no for me, dog. And it is what it is. You get what you paid for. And guess what? Unfortunately, there's no refunds. Oh, yeah. MAGA is getting their mullet wake-up call. Let's see if they answer the phone, though. It's been ringing for almost a year. Really, it's been ringing since 2019. Ring-a-ding-ding. I ain't seen nobody pick up the phone yet, so we'll see. Oh, yeah. Salute to Mia Kim. Oh, yeah. Before running the FBA, cut the check. Absolutely, absolutely. Cut the damn check. Make it work. Get in there and make it work. Oh, yeah. And they still got 3 years. Absolutely. 3 years. Let's see what happens. But family, I'd like to thank you all for being here. All those who are in the chat and all those who are not in the chat. Thank you to everybody who's going to be in the replay gang. Thank you to everybody that's donated, whether it be Super Chat or Cash App. I appreciate you all. Thank you to all my members. I appreciate you. And I'd like to say one more thing before we get up out of here. To the Magites, nanny, nanny, boo-boo, stick your head in doo-doo. With that being said, family, the doors of the church are now closed. Peace.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever, can't stand us black people. He's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Us black people going to survive. Yeah. So fuck everybody. I'm out.